couple of days, the end of September, I get called into the office, so to speak, and you know, my boss has been sent home on a Red Cross emergency. Life happens. Mom is ill. So the officer in charge of our helicopter left, the 2IC, me, gets the coronation. You're in charge now, don't mess this up. And so that was it. It was about a 3-second exchange. Matt, you're in charge now. And I remember this little burden that I had was like, I've seen everybody in action. I know these guys can do it. I just need to make sure as a leader that I'm ready to deliver. So on Sunday, October 3rd, we got the call, and almost exactly like you saw in the movie. The spy went out. 2 of Adid's top guys were meeting in a really bad part of town. He might even show up himself. I mean, jackpot. We hit this guy, roll him up. We're home next weekend. Like, this is really, really exciting. And Sergeant Eversmann, you're going to be in the northwest corner of the target. You know, you're going to set up a blocking position. There's a 3-story building there. We can't land, so you're going to have to fast rope, slide down these ropes from the helicopter onto the target. It's going to be about 40 feet. You're like, well, you know, that's not a fun method of insertion for people that, like me, that don't like heights, but it's just another day. It's like, that's the way you got to do business. So literally, you saw it in the movie. The spy goes out with the duct tape on the roof, gives the launch signal, and off we go. 19 helicopters take off. It's only 3 minutes from takeoff to insertion. Like, literally not quite fast enough to even think too much about it. Like, we get up, go to altitude, hit the gas, fly down the coastline. When I'm in the catbird seat, flying backwards, got the headset on, talking to the pilots. I'm looking at the boys in the back of the Black Hawk, and they're looking at the door gunners, and the door gunners are looking for the bad guys. And I mean, we're flying high and fast, so they shoot holes in the sky if they try and take a shot at you. And all of a sudden, like in no time, they give you 1 minute. In 1 minute, we're going to start this assault. The helicopters do this little porpoise jump. You all know this thing, and it's like there's negative gravity for a second, and you feel like you come off the seat, and then they just hit it, and they're screaming down. I feel like you're going vertical, like a no-lift dive down towards the target. And I mean, I'm flying backwards, and I'm watching the boys, and you know, your heart's beating against your body armor, and you can just feel that adrenaline rush. I mean, it's exciting and it's scary, and you watch all these emotions going, and as a leader, you're just trying to figure out, like, what's the checklist of things I got to do till I get on the ground. That sort of diverts my attention. And then all of a sudden, they give you 30 seconds. You know, in 30 seconds, it's just spatial reasoning starts to constrict, and now it's just that frame by frame. You know, I'm not looking at my watch, but I know what 30 seconds feels like, and in 30 seconds, I'm going to be on a rope going down. At least I'll be on the ground. No matter what it's like, at least I'll be there. That's going through my mind, and as I'm contemplating all this, the helicopter just stands up on its tail rotor, comes to a hover, and the pilot says over the intercom, "I can't see anything." And you're like, holy mackerel. I mean, that's not what you want to hear on short final coming in on the target. Like, I can't see anything. And sure enough, all the helicopters going in before us had kicked up so much dust and debris that the last helicopter, Super 6-7, like just runs into a sandstorm. You know, hits the brakes, and he's like, dude, we're in the wrong spot. So I got to put you in here. But when you get on the ground, go 3 blocks in the direction of flight, and you'll be good. You're like, roger that, man. I mean, we're just got to go. We're not going to, you know, there's no blame on anybody's part. This happens. The ropes get thrown. The guys start to go. I'm the last one going in. And I remember I'm kneeling on the belly of the Black Hawk as the guys are going, and I'm going to put on my goggles. And those old Earth, Wind, and Fire goggles, you know, those old ski things. And, of course, the strap breaks, so it's Murphy's Law right there. And put on my bucket, and I'm buckling the chin strap, and the helicopter just keels over a couple of degrees. Just enough I got to put my hand down to kind of keep from losing my balance. And don't think anything of over, wild over, grab the rope, start to slide down. And I'm like, man, you know, I can't even see the ground. There's so much sand and dust and everything. And finally break through the cloud, and I'm looking down, and right at the bottom of the rope is one of my soldiers lying there. And I'm thinking, my goodness, somebody's already been shot. We've already been in a fight. And I'm still on the rope, and I'm in charge. And I finally get down to the ground, and you know, there's a couple of guys working on this kid. He's bleeding all over the place. I'm sure he's dead. And you know, I'm like, where did he get shot? And one of the soldiers that's working on him says, hey, he didn't get shot, he fell. You know, as soon as this kid had grabbed the rope and started to slide, the helicopter went like that, and boom, 60 feet, 6-0. Verifiable fact, 60 feet. I mean, the width of this room, this kid fell, and he's still alive. And so what do? You got to get a medevac. You turn right to my RTO, my radio telephone guy, call in a medevac. Like you do it a million times in training. Call the medevac. Jordan Eversmann, I got no comms. I can't transmit, I can only receive. I'm like 3 minutes and 10 seconds ago, you had your radio work fine when we took off and you did your radio check, and now all of a sudden, nothing. And so here it is, first 20 seconds of being in charge on day one, basically. And we're in the wrong spot, litter urgent casualty, no comms with the boss for a medevac, and now I realize in the middle, I'm standing in the middle of this four-way intersection, and we're taking fire from the north and the west and the east, just like that. And I tell you, you know, I'm befuddled, for lack of a better word. Just 4 problems I'm trying to solve all at once, and they're all big ones. And it's just like, how did this just happen? It's just like you blink your eyes, and all of a sudden you're in this mess. And I remember I'm like, I don't even know how long I was standing there, but I'm like, I got to do something. And then something catches my eye, and I remember standing there and just felt total calm. And I know we're going to be all right. And I realized as I saw it, I was watching my 2 young team leaders, my 2 young sergeants, Jim Telsher and Casey Joyce. I mean, 22 and 23, 24. I mean, little guys. And man, they're just bringing it to the enemy. I mean, they have got Operation Kitchen Sink. They got the big gun. They got the law. They're literally throwing hand grenades. You know, 25-meter battlefield. And these guys are just getting after it. And I realized the last thing I said to any of them was 30 seconds. They're doing their thing. 20 years old, and they're just getting after it. And I'm like, they're doing their job, I got to do mine. Like, that's basically the punchline of that joke. Like, they're doing it, and I realized, okay, you know, loss of life, that's kind of an easy one to prioritize. And I realized Sergeant Joyce is my litter team leader. Joyce, come here. Comes running over in the middle of this fight. What's up, Sergeant? You're the aid and litter team leader. Get Blackburn on the litter. Get your guys together. Take them 3 blocks down to the target. Give them to the senior medic. Tell the commander that our comms are down. Roger that. And so they put this kid on a litter, and literally 6 of them just take off in this cartoonish hail of gunfire. And just turn the corner, and they skate down there. You know, they're shooting as they go, doing their thing, and letting me get back to fighting the fight. And it seems like in no time, you know, the enemy's got us kind of fixed, and we're holding them back, and I'm hiding behind this car, like by the trunk, and you know, just hoping that the engine block's going to stop the bullets. And I'm sitting there waiting for him to stop, and I feel somebody behind me. I turn around, and there's Sergeant Joyce, and he's standing behind me, and I'll never forget. He's just sitting like that. You know, he's trying to kind of get high, you know, hide behind the car too, and I'm like, hey man, what's up? And he's like, he's good. You know, he's going to leave. He's going to live. They're going to get him out. And they caught 21 bad guys, and they're going to let us know. And with that, Joyce just runs back over again, right through the gunfire, and gets back into the show. I mean, selfless service. It doesn't get any better than that. You know, you can't order people to go into harm's way like that. Like, hey, go run in front of the machine gun nest. Kind of. You could. They'll laugh and say bad things about you, but you know, you can't do that. These warriors do that because of this commitment to the mission, and hopefully a little bit of confidence in me, but mostly I think because they're selfless.